Good afternoon. How are you today? Well, the temperature says it's cold, but right now it doesn't feel that bad, so who knows? The sun is going down because it's later in the afternoon. A lot of work today. And I enjoy writing, so it's not a complaint. I'm glad to have work. Reminds me of that line Tom Cruise, give me a cause. Well, no one has to give me a cause. I find them pretty easily, have my whole life. And talking about causes, we have a chance to try to replace an outstanding Justice Breyer with someone that will carry on as he did. And there are three candidates, and my favorite is the one from DC, Jackson, who was a Breyer clerk. And you may know what that is. After law school or another clerkship, you work with the judge. You may give him draft memos, you may give him whole draft opinions, you answer questions that he has or she has. And so you have an amazing relationship in terms of a tutorial how to be a really good lawyer. So the clerkships are very important. And Jackson out of DC, who's on the Circuit Court of Appeals for DC, she was his clerk. She was also a public defender, and she also attended Harvard undergraduate and Harvard Law School. Now, there are two other candidates, but she's the only one who's been approved for the Court of Appeals, and several Republicans supported her. And it's because she's highly qualified. Now, the others are also qualified. One in California worked in the Solicitor General's office, which meant she argued before the Supreme Court, but she's a state court judge and she's in California. I don't know if that counts against her, but she's not known, and she's in a category that is non-federal court that has not involved a lot of appointees, but there have been some spectacular ones. And then there's another candidate, and she's a district court judge, and ironically, she has an application pending to go to the Court of Appeals. So if they took her out of that, she would leap from the district court to the Supreme Court. I think she's unlikely. She's being pushed, and part of the language is, we don't need people from elite law schools. Well, you see, I would never talk against somebody who had an extraordinary check in terms of education. Of course, the longer the time after you've been in a really good law school, the more the practice and what you've done and who you associated with count. But there's no kidding about the fact that if you go to certain law schools, you're visible, you get certain clerkships and so forth. So it doesn't matter to me that a candidate for the Supreme Court has not gone to Harvard, Yale, Columbia, or any other school, and gone to a, quote, more regional law school. But it does matter when they're considering your application up on the Senate. I'm also concerned about, anti-intellectualism. You were so good to go to a really good law school, and we don't want somebody so elite. I don't understand that argument, and I'm not for it. So I'm not against any of the three top candidates, but I'm hoping Jackson is the one. I think she has the best chance of growing and contributing to the law and to the court. So that's my thinking about that. Today is a day when we're also supposed to remember the Holocaust. It was a long time ago, in 1969, I did Europe between my undergraduate career at Fordham and Columbia, in which I got combined degrees, and before I was going to start law school. And I bought a bike in London, and I took it across the channel and went all over Europe. But when I got to Germany, I went to the Hofbrauhaus, where Hitler gave his speeches in München, in Munich, Germany. And then I took the bike one day out to Dachau, which was one of the camps. And if you see anything like that, or you go to the Holocaust Museum, you can never get it out of your mind. It said on the work camp at the gate, Arbeit macht frei, work makes free. And it makes free in the sense that I think 30,000 people died at that camp. It's been a while since I thought about the numbers. And they showed that they had the houses where they kept people, And it was like they put people in places like you would put eggs in a carton. And you saw the crematoria and pictures that had been preserved of those people who had suffered there. And when I left on this motorcycle on a beautiful day, I had this sensation about how could anybody not be screaming about this. And the town of Dachau was having a festival. It's, I don't know, 10 kilometers, I think, away from this concentration camp. And I had this feeling, which was irrational. How can you people be having fun with that place so close by? We don't have enough anger about injustice anymore. America's divided into those who care and the care less, between those who believe in honor and tradition and ethics and standards and those who do not. And part of it is because we have made a mockery out of rules and laws that we don't enforce. But there's more than that. You can't remain silent in the face of outrages and expect it not to persist. A friend of mine today saw me when I was getting coffee, and we keep our distance, we have masks and so forth. And we were talking about what is the problem in America. And one of them is strength and courage and ethics and bravery. Not enough of it. Everybody ducks, they avoid the punch, and because of that, they don't fight for what's right and just. Let's take a look at what's going on in Ukraine. How can you have it both ways? I'm going to call up 8,500 troops, and we have 65,000 in Europe, or 68,000, whatever the number is. But then Biden says not one is going to cross the border to go into Ukraine. Well, that is not going to deter Putin. And you know that this man, KGB, he collects intelligence the way kids collect baseball cards. He's out there and he knows, and you can be sure he has people inside Ukraine figuring out his targets and how he can do it and when he can get away with it. And he probably has intelligence from what we're doing. We're so clumsy about it. So I hope there isn't an invasion, but we're not doing anything to stop it. If it stops, it'll be because Putin has his own reasons not to do it. And a lot of people are going to get killed and hurt, and the government's going to change hands, and we're going to have this open political sore on Eastern Europe. And what we need in the White House and on Congress and among our people, Democrats and Republicans, is strength to care about our basic values. So I guess it's thinking about what happened in Germany in the 30s affects how I feel and think about what's relevant today. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.